in the wrestling business, if you're newer to the business and veteran, the newer person needs to make the attempt to say hello. See, it's not me going to her. She should have come to me. Bye.
Final thing that we need to touch on is, of course, this week on Wednesday was Wrestle Kingdom 17. NJPW had a huge lineup of matches. Of course, everyone was talking about Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay heading into the Tokyo Dome. You could check out Will Ospreay's comments here on Sportskeeda. Kevin Kellum interviewed him ahead of the matchup. Let's check all of that out. But one of the bigger things outside of that matchup between Ospreay and Omega was Sasha Banks. There's been reports from PW Insider, from Wrestling Observer, that Sasha Banks would arrive at Wrestle Kingdom. She did show up, coming out after Kyrie versus Tam Nakano on that show. Now we also had reports prior to Wrestle Kingdom of Naomi actually being backstage with Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks at Wrestle Kingdom. Do you think Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, or Naomi will appear in WWE in 2023?
I don't think Sasha will. I think Naomi might. I think Sasha's kind of burned a bridge. She's made some statements that I think WWE would look silly by taking her back. I may be wrong. See, that's what I always didn't understand about wrestlers. They get mad at somebody, I'll never work, blah, 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 blah. Why would you even say that? You might see a day where you might need to go work for a company to make the money you were making before, but you said so much bull crap that they can't trust you or don't like you or have a hard on for you. I never understood that, because when I always left a place, I always used most of the time I tried to leave it better than I left it. And sometimes I would be mad a lot of times leaving places over the way I was used or the way I was paid. I would be pissed off. But I wouldn't go out in public and really badmouth them, because it is what it is. And the guys that I don't need to tell fans who have nothing to do with it what it was like, because I don't think they understand it. Or they didn't understand it back then. And guys who have been there, they know what I'm talking about. But I always try to say, hey, thanks, and I'll see you down the road. That's the best way to leave it. I mean, if you leave people mad at you, not only are they mad at you because you just left them, and I have left in the middle of the night. I never called up.
Just so we're on the same page, what did Sasha say?
Well, I think she said some things about, I read, I don't know exactly what she said, but they weren't encouraging things. It was like more of a negative statement she would make. But I can't give you.
Are you sure that's after the walkout? Because I'm pretty sure she hasn't done any interviews since the walkout.
Well, maybe I just read some of those dirt riders.
No, I did see a video of her on the Stone Cold podcast, but that was when she was with the company. That was going around, and I know there was comments there that people were like, oh, WWE couldn't be happy with her, but she was still with the company for 2 more years after that podcast. So that's why I was asking, because I didn't know if there was like a new interview out or something like that.
Well, I was there for 2 years. Guess how many times Sasha said hello to me?
How many times?
0. Because I wasn't in her orbit. And even when I passed her, it's common to stop, especially on your first days in, to introduce yourself and say hello and pleased to meet you or whatever. It's just a formality. But she never did that. And she never told me hello when she saw me. I spent a lot of time in catering, remember. But she never would speak to me there. She just kind of ignored me. And I did the same to her. I mean, it wasn't a negativity to it. It was just something that never happened. So
I've been there with people. If you don't say hi to me, why should I say hi to you? I understand that.
well, in the wrestling business, if you're newer to the business and veteran, the newer person needs to make the attempt to say hello. See, it's not me going to her. She should have come to me. Bye. That's by, it's been done for ages. It's like you go into a new dressing room, you go around and you meet everybody, and you offer the little bullshit handshake, but you've met them. You went out of your way to say hello, and if I can help you, let me know, or whatever. But you never did, and it wasn't a big thing, but you just never said hello to me.
It's fair. That's fair.
So I threw a baseball at her one night and hit her in the leg. So
that did not happen, ladies and gentlemen. That's like when he got hit in the head in a rock and got robbed. But Dutch,
people would get my humor, but they didn't.
Dutch, please let the people know where they can follow you on social media.
You can bother me at Dirty Dutch Mantell with 2 L's at gmail.com. You could inquire about the books for your collection. They're signed. They come with actually. Sometimes I even actually send an old WCW trading card. They must have made like 2 million of them, because I got several hundred. Sometimes I send them with those. So if you want, if your name is Bill, to Bill, hey, Dirty Dutch and Zeb Coulter, and I sign it all for you, Merry Christmas. But since that's gone, I can't sign that anymore. I could say Happy Easter. It's coming up, but
Happy Valentine's Day.
If you got any questions, write me and I'll try to answer them.
We appreciate that, Dutch. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Of course, follow SK Wrestling _ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we will be back with a live edition of SmackDown following SmackDown and Rampage this coming Friday with Rick Ucchino. So for Dutch Mantell, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. Yep.
Have we solved the wrestling business in this podcast?
I think we did. We solved a lot of wrestling's mysteries. We did.
But new questions arrive every week, so we will solve them all next week at this time.
Absolutely. For Dutch Mantell, I'm SP3. This has been SmackDown.